What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Spin Tires Mudrunner, of course with commentary this time. Now, I know the last few videos didn't have any commentary, and that was just because at the time I recorded those, I really just wasn't talking. I was just kind of recording just while I was messing around, and I was just like, you know what, might as well, upload this and everything. So right now we're on my map, actually. Humble Beginnings is what I decided to name it. I was just bored trying to figure out a name, and I was like, you know what, that'll work. Why not? Because it's not really a insane map or anything. It's I think it's like 400 and something by 400 and something. So it's not a very big map, but I did put a good amount of work into it. Made some main trails with like some smaller trails branching off, and we're gonna go test it out. Well, I'm going to show you guys it anyways. I've already released the map for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days now, maybe a little more, something like that. It's as long as it's actually been released to the public. And I worked on it for a few days before that, before I actually had decided to, publish it public, because at that time I was just, it was literal work in progress. Now it's still a work in progress. I'm still fine-tuning some things on the map and, making some things look better. But for the most part, it is completed. I've been adding some new stuff. I added a rock wall, which is a pretty insane climb, and I'll show you guys that here in a little bit. It's a pretty insane climb, but it's actually pretty fun when you take like the snot rocket or one of the other ones like that up it. You can get it up it with like a bit of patience and a regular truck like this, like Spun's Jeep MJ that we're in right now, or any vehicle with some decent sized tires, really. Oh, there was a little bit of lag there. Sorry about that. So when you get to this fork here, this is basically, like, you can drive the trails pretty much one way, like go through them, one way if you wanted to, or you could go through them pretty much any way you want. But directly over there to the left it pretty much takes you back to the start, and this big old wooden bridge that you guys kind of saw a little bit there. And that way goes over a bridge, which you guys will see here in a bit. I'm actually not going to climb up that. I'm just going to climb over here. I don't know why I'm trying to straddle the rock. Just a bad entry there, because I kind of made up my mind halfway through it. But I did put a big-ass mud pit, which is a decent mud pit. You can fly through it pretty easily. I didn't make it something too crazy, just knowing the, mud physics of the game. I made it not super deep, but to where it's still fun, to fly through and just kind of have a little bit of fun with. But when you get here to this water, it's really deep. Like, in the middle here is, like, super deep, and you definitely are going to take a little bit of damage to your vehicle. But of course, I made it, to where you can kind of hit the sides of it if you want, get a little bit better speed through here. I forgot what I was gonna say now. Sorry about that, guys. But now here, this trail off to the left branches, and it actually comes out over there by where the rock wall's at. As well as that straightaway is just a straight, and here is just kind of a chiller, more laid-back kind of shortcut trail. The only majorly hard part is just getting up these rocks here, which even these are not super tough. They're just a little steep. But we'll probably have some frame droppage here, because I did put quite a bit of trees on this map. So sometimes, they don't quite load in until you get right up on them, especially in the overgrown forest area. I'm not really sure, other than, removing a lot of it, there's not really a way for me to fix that. But if I remove a lot of it, then it's not so immersive inside of the overgrown forest trail. But this trail, It really, you don't span a whole lot of places around this trail, but it is a decent little trail. You know, some dips to watch out for and things like that. That was weird. I heard like a weird noise through my headphones. That was odd. Up here, you know, is a little bit trickier if you don't hit it right, or if you're just kind of giving it too much gas, obviously. You know, spin tires things. Don't worry about trying to climb that rock. It's pretty much there to try to guide you around this corner a little bit. Same thing with these ones. That's why they're pointed that way. It's just kind of a little guide, but as well as it's an obstacle for you to get through. Now we're not going to use the Spun's Jeep MJ this entire video. I do have a few other vehicles on the map that we're going to use for different areas, obviously. But for now we're going to use this. I love this thing. Since it came out, I've just been driving it around a lot. It's actually been my main vehicle I've been using to test my map, because it came out, you know, pretty much when I was starting building on my map. Now there's two ways you can go from here. This way will take you to that trail that branched off to the left where we got onto this trail. Take you about halfway point through it. Or you go over here and it'll take you to the beginning of that trail, or the end of that trail, just depending on how you look at it. Like I said, I've a little bit of lag going on there. I mean, there's lag in the video, but that was a little bit of lag for me, because I see the game smoothly when I'm recording. Even if I turn my graphics up, it's smooth to me. It's just in recording it's not quite so smooth, which I apologize for pretty much every time I do these videos. No, but this takes you back out there, so if you were to go here and you go to the left, you go right back to where we entered onto that trail from. Now we can go straight and go over there to the rock wall, but I kind of want to show you guys this trail first. Of course, these rocks here will really get you if you try to climb them straight up. That's why sometimes I even like to just go onto the side over here and just kind of ease my way up the hill. It's not too hard. None of the trails are, you know, too insanely crazy trails to get through. You can pretty much get through all the trails, no problem. That's why I consider these intermediate trails, because they're really not that hard to get through, but you know, some places you might need a little bit of skill to get through. But I mean, me, I can drive my map basically in automatic. Basically. Yeah, see right here takes us, it's just a short little ride down there to that little lake area that I put there. Now this water will get you. It definitely will if you don't attach yourself to the rock a little bit. Well, you know, kind of climb over the rock as you're going through. Because I did make the water pretty deep, as you can see there. And even worse on the other side of this rock. It's really deep. Especially if you try coming from the other way through the trail. It'll definitely get you when you go to climb back onto this rock. But it makes for a very fun trail experience. Nothing too difficult, nothing too crazy. Except for my rock wall, that's pretty crazy. It's definitely a harder climb, which I'm just working on, kind of doing some things like that. I like to send it over this jump a little bit. Ooh, you just gotta be careful because... Sorry about that, had to clear my throat. But I did kind of booby trap it a little bit if you decide to send it over that rock, or that little hill there. I put a lot of rocks in the trails. Well, in some of the trails, they have a lot of these little rocks, which are pretty decent sized rocks, to, you know, bounce you over and everything. go up through here. It's a little kind of tight squeeze. The map wasn't necessarily made for bigger vehicles. You know, even though I did put a lumber mill and stuff on there, I usually use, you know, something like Banksy's, one of Banksy's trucks to haul logs. Makes it pretty easy when, you know, you can put the logs in the bed of the truck. And of course, this just takes us back down over here. So we're going to go ahead and swap in over here to Snot Rocket, which is sitting comfortably at the top of this hill that we were just by. It is kind of loud. It is definitely a loud crawler, which kind of makes sense. So forgive the loudness if it's a lot louder than my voice when we get on the gas. We'll just kind of let it cruise on back down the hill. Now, even with Snot Rocket, you do have to do a little bit of maneuvering up this hill. So I'm just going to kind of be quiet a little bit and kind of show you guys how I get up it. There we go. It's not very hard to get up it when you're in a crawler like this. Like, it's definitely makes it a lot easier when you're in something like this. I will tell you guys that much. But I have experimented with some of these smaller vehicles getting up this, and you can do it with, like I said earlier near the beginning of the video, it just takes a bit of patience to do it. So if you're having trouble climbing that or anything else, really just give it a little patience. Now, it's... oh, wow. Okay. So I don't know if I might have cut out a little bit there. Really? Why? Okay. So I might have cut out what I was gonna do, guys, and that just depends on if the entire thing was overloaded encoding or not. For some reason with Snot Rocket, it just absolutely overloaded the encoding a little bit there. I don't know exactly how much of it got messed up, but if not, I will definitely have to you know, maybe get like Rock Runner or maybe Jakarta to go up that hill to kind of you know, give you guys a little bit of a show of it, so to speak. So we're just going to take the MJ and we're going to drive through this little trail and we're going to drive over there to the Rock Ridge. Just to kind of show you guys it, in case I did remove the that part out of the map, or out of the video. Because, yeah. Like after I went down the hill, climbed up it, it was saying the encoder was overloaded, and I was just kind of sitting there, so I don't know. So it might get a little bit laggy when we come over here to where Snot Rocket is, because it might just be Snot Rocket in general causing it to overload the encoding, which is still, I think, is just really weird. So there's Snot Rocket. Kind of looking at OBS over here as we do this. And I left the motor on and it seems legit. I should turn that off real quick. Ooh. I turned my camera way too fast, apparently. Because that overloaded the encoding. That's cool. Cool. Okay, so over here it's my rock wall here, as you guys can see. I will do a little bit of an attempt with the MJ to climb it up here, up this rock, but I have not actually done it with the MJ. So I'm not 100% sure on how good the MJ is going to do climbing up it. But, yeah. I mean, we can do decently going up this part, which I know we can. It's just once you get over that part where it starts getting a little bit steeper. And you do have to do a little bit of maneuvering around rocks and around the crevices in the rocks to actually gain yourself some traction. Not enough. Come on. There we go. It just definitely takes a little bit of patience. It's getting a little dark on my map here, so you guys will get to see it come to life at night as we try to make these final little steps up this rock with a non-crawler vehicle. There we go. Try to give it a little bit more wheel speed maybe to help us out, but we did lose a little bit of ground there. Ooh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, sometimes you need more wheel speed, sometimes you need less. We were able to climb up it pretty easily with this. And a lot more easily with this than the last vehicle I tried climbing up this with. Aside from Snot Rocket, of course, because Snot Rocket can climb this like it ain't nothing. Literally, it's just like putting butter on, you know, toast. It's just smooth. So yeah, I did put flowers pretty much everywhere on my map. So you do get a good let's go straight to full night time. There we go. Okay, full night time here, guys. With all the flowers that I put on the map, it does give it a nice little vibrant glow to the map. We're just gonna do a little cruising here out through all these trees, or well, the bushes, I should say. And we'll head over here to where the mud pit is and where my garage is. Also, my flooded area is over here. Oops. Oh, it's definitely the wrong gear. I wanted to put it in automatic. So we'll come over here. This is where my flooded area is, and I will show you guys this better here in just a few once we pull out Dirty Mary. Which we'll do that here in literally just like a couple minutes. Just want to drive the MJ over here and kind of park it at the garage. Of course, if you guys noticed over there, you know, there is a little trail that goes up on the other side that pretty much lets you connect to that bridge over there. So I think actually I'll drive up there and park this over there. Sorry about the textures kind of glitching out a little bit. We're over here by my, you know, overgrown forest area. But the garage area over here is just a house, field station, of course. So we can just come over here and kind of park this over here on the bridge and kind of overlook the area. The flooded area is legitimately flooded. It's I would say it is the deepest water on my map, so be wary of that if you plan to go over here. Now, immediately over here, where Dirty Mary is at, there is my rock bridge, of course. which is, oh, well then, how did that overload my encoder? What? Oh, I forgot this thing has no lights, and it has the Dixie horn, of course. But my rock bridge, the mud pit, of course, and as you can see, it's not very thick, or not very deep. It is deeper in the middle of the mud pit than it is anywhere else, which I felt was pretty realistic to do to it, make it kind of fun on the outsides, and if you really want to challenge, you know, get on in there into the middle of it. And of course you get the weird camera angle going on when you go underneath the said rock bridge. I think I'll use one of my Steam thumbnails for this as the thumbnail for the video. It's one of the it's just a better quality picture of, you know, Dirty Mary going through the mud over here. You know, full graphics and all that. Ooh, yeah. So kick it into high gear, let it get all the way up. We'll go into we'll go into automatic here. And we'll let it gain up some speed. And we actually need to be a little further over here. And we can actually fly through the mud pit. And actually kick up a good amount of mud. I did this purposely to have, you know, pretty much this one spot almost in the middle of it where you can do this. And it's pretty cool. I bet you guys want me to climb up my rock bridge. And I think I will. Dirty Mary, this truck is actually, well, aside from encoder overloading, man. This is what is such a challenge for me recording Spin Tires, guys. But Dirty Mary, even though it's a literal monster truck, well, literal mud truck, it's not even necessarily a monster truck. I mean, it is a monster truck, but it's a mud truck, alright. It is good at crawling. I mean, even this can climb up my rock hill, no problem. The way to make the rock hill fun is use a non-crawler vehicle to climb up it, you know. Oh no! Oh, we're not dead. No. Oh, okay. That happened. Go here. Do that. Pull ourselves back over here. And we'll just send it a little bit. Oh! Alright. Well, that's fine. I don't know why yeah, actually. Let's go to this. And then this. There we go. There we go. So we're going to use the crawler to go through my little overgrown forest trail over there because the visibility there, I will be quite honest with you guys, is not that great getting through there. And I did that purposely. I wanted it to be something a little bit challenging to get through, but not too crazy, you know. Something kind of decent for a forest trail. It kind of mimics the, you know, kind of trails you would find around here. Like just in my neighborhood, there's actual mountain bike trails, you know, that pretty much go up and down what is basically, you know, a cliff side. It's just not like super steep or nothing. It's pretty crazy trails, and that's kind of what I did my overgrown forest trails after. Just more, you know, styled to trucks and not, you know, mountain bikes. But still the trails, you know, trail style that you would kind of most likely see around here. I don't go off-roading in real life. That's too expensive. Like, even if I had, you know, bought a truck to, like, do that with, I wouldn't do it. It's just, no, I'm not going to go break a bunch of stuff just to have to replace it. you know. Well, it's just not me. um, and yeah, this is going to be a longer video. It's already a long video. If you guys are still watching, you guys are awesome. Even the ones that already clicked off, they're awesome too. But the ones that are still watching, you guys are awesome. Just want you guys to know that. And yeah, I basically want this video to be a full exploration of my map at its current, you know, state. Because the map will change in the future. I'll continually make changes to my map as they are needed to be done. But yeah, here we are over by the, well, at the actual flood area. Careful of this pond as well, it is pretty deep. I would suggest hugging that corner right there as you go around. So we're just going to cruise through this water. We're not even going to go fast through it. I'm just going to cruise through it and show you guys, because I can bomb it through with this vehicle, obviously. But we're just going to cruise through it and kind of show you guys how deep it really is over here. It is quite a, legitimately a flooded trail. And that's what I was going for over here. It originally was going to be mud, and then I was like, you know what? Let's turn this into a flooded trail. Because I had issues with the, you know, when you use like the stock mud texture and you don't use the extrudes. That, well, that if you guys make maps or whatever, but it was causing you to just float over the mud, but actually have the, you know, appearance of mud and the feel of it, but you just kind of floated over it instead of sunk in it. So I had to change it, changed up. You know, I took the mud out, worked on the trails, put the mud back in, pretty much. Now the mud's good to go. But in that timing, this just turned into, you know, a flooded trail. Yeah, it gets pretty deep over there, but it's not so deep that you're not going to be able to get through it. Like, you're still going to be able to get through it, no problem. So the only trails we have left to explore are obviously my overgrown forest trail, and then the rest of them. So we'll go ahead and jump into the crawler here, which that is extremely loud. Wow. Don't mind the fact that my graphics are all the way down. That's just me in my attempt at, you know, getting the game to record smoothly. But this is pretty much as smooth as I can get without losing every bit of quality that, you know, the video has. So I kind of want to go through here at night though, because I love these trails at night. Like the forest trails just look absolutely beautiful at night. And there is another video. I actually saw that video today when I'm recording this, not like today when you guys are watching this, but I actually saw somebody, because I just went and searched, you know, for my map basically in Google, and found somebody that had recorded it. I'm like, hell yeah, I watched it. I actually really enjoyed that video, and I will post a link to that down below for you guys that are still watching and care enough. I'll post a link down below for you guys, and you can check his recording out of this map. And he didn't do a full exploration. He explored a little bit, which is fine, and it was enjoyable. He went through here actually, and it was pretty cool. So I think for any of you that are actually still watching, you guys are gonna get to see my hidden trail. Like my main hidden trail. I have two hidden trails on this map, but my main hidden trail is right here. It's literally hidden behind the brush. And this trail is nothing really crazy or nothing. It's literally a super laid back trail. And it basically just takes you to a little cabin in the woods that I just kind of... I haven't, like, once I figure out how to put signs and stuff, I'll make names for the trails, and I'll, you know, actually put a sign up outside the cabin that's, you know, like, says Froggy's Oasis or something, you know? Because it's just a little cabin in the woods, and, you know, it's just so hidden. I hit it very well into you know, the forestry and everything over here. Hid the trail very well into it. You just, nobody would know that this is here. Even the trail is hard to actually spot. You just have to look for the dirt, which is in itself not super standout-ish. It's pretty well blended together. But we'll go ahead and throw this into daylight for you guys real quick. And we'll go through here, and then we'll get back on the main trail, probably throw it back to darkness. But yeah, the trail itself is pretty hidden within itself, which kind of made this even cooler. Excuse me. Which makes it truly hidden. And then you just kind of cruise on down over here, and bam, here we are at my cabin in the woods, guys. On the edge of the map, away from everything. I'm not even going to show you guys the map. If you guys were following along, you guys can find it. But now we'll just back on up out of here and we'll turn around. I really like Gabe's, you know, caddy crawler. It's freaking awesome. Of course, it's got a legitimate freaking, you know, badass motor in there. It's got everything. It's just badass. Yeah, we'll make this crawl back out of here, guys. Which isn't too bad. Driving, like, once you've driven through the forest once, like in a play, like in an actual, you know, session, it's really easy to get back through it, because after you've already gone through it, it's pretty much, you know, it clears itself out, you know, like the excess kind of stuff. And I say excess because, you know, it's overgrown, so everything's just kind of blended together. It's supposed to be a hard to see trail. It's just nobody's really traveled this trail for a long time. And so it's, you know, just really overgrown. Ooh, I almost missed the corner again. I always do that, actually. I missed that corner. So yeah, we'll drive back through the bushes here. And not hit the tree that's there, because, you know, booby trapped. Booby trapped on your exit. And let's not try to hump that tree. And we'll continue on with the little trail. And you know, that was something I was excited for when I realized that he was, you know, headed towards the forest trail. In his video, I was like really excited to see if he could spot the hidden trail, which you just really can't unless you're like really, well, unless you're me. Or unless you've actually watched this video to this point. And then, you know, hey, there's where one of his hidden trails is. You guys aren't going to see the other one. I'm not going to give away both of them, you know, in a video. You got to find the other one, you know. I'll probably show it at some point in time. I might even make an actual video for this hidden trail, but things to be done later. Yeah, here, you know, from here on, at this point, it kind of gets a little bit more opened up. Because I did try to, I increased the visibility in here from what it originally was. Originally, you just couldn't see it all. You couldn't see nothing. Like, the only way for you to, you know, see anything would be to be in first person. And as we all know, first person's not quite the absolute best place to be when you're trying to go through trails. And of course, I added mud to the trails as well, so it, you know, if you're not on the rocks, it gets sketchy. Especially in some parts like this, where the mud's actually thicker than the rest, which I did that on purpose as well, because it rains a lot here. Well, when it rains a lot. 90% of the time. So it's like, yeah, let's make them like... Eventually, I will make another map, which will be even more in-depth kind of, you know, trails consistent of what, you know, is around me. Because these trails are somewhat like it, but there's not as much elevation to these trails as there are to the trails in, you know, where I live in real life. See, look, I even almost lost my own trail right there. Come on now. But, yeah, yeah, I'll definitely make some trails very consistent to real life, here where I live anyways. Because here where I live, it's hills. Hills, 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 hills. Like, you go up a hill to go down a hill, to go back up a hill, to go down another hill, to make a curve around this hill. You know, as we're making a curve on a half slanted hill that I made, you know. So I might even I might even come back here to this trail, you know, in the future of me editing on my map, and, you know, put in more elevation to it. But I think for now, honestly, I'm satisfied with this trail. I might do a little bit more cleaning up on the trail, try and get some of these textures to stay in place at all times. Maybe if I reduce some of the rocks, or, you know, I don't know, maybe some of the less important shrubbery in between trails, like on the map. Like in between the trails, which even the trails themselves are hard to see because it's so overgrown. But like in places in between there, like right in, like, you know, I don't know, they're so tight together. Like, I made this trail itself so tightly wound. It's really hard to remove shrubbery and keep the overgrown forest look in it. And of course, once you get around here to this part, it does open up a hell of a lot. And that's because we're getting near to the end of this trail, so I kind of wanted it to have that feel to it. Once you start getting towards the end of the trail, where it's just starts, you know, tapering out into, you know, openness, while still keeping that, you know, overgrown feeling to it around the trails. Oh, that was a big, like, texture loss there. Like, wow. Again, I apologize for that. I probably apologized like 4 times in this video for that. But, yeah. It's, but you guys that are still watching are just amazing, because you guys are just like, yeah, lag, okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm still gonna watch. It's amazing. I love it. You guys are awesome. You guys are the reason I keep making these videos. Like, I would gladly just sit here and play Spin Tires, you know, and not talk to myself while I do it. See, here we are outside of the actual trail, so we're just going to keep along this. Which is, this opens up into more of a, you know, kind of speed ring type deal. Kind of like a Baja race area. Oops. But it's not like a complete thing, you know, it's not a full track. It's a partial track, just to, you know, you don't need like a huge area to gain speed in this game at all. But there's a decent strip here for, you know, you to gain speed, especially right here. You could actually have like little drag races with your friends if you wanted to, for whatever reason. Now when we come around here, here over there is actually one of my rock walls, or well, rock hills, I should say. It's not a wall, it's a hill. And I'll show you guys both ways to get over that hill, actually. And one way is to obviously just go around the entire thing here. I should have known this wasn't going to do great flying through the mud and water. But this way, going through here, you can just, you know, climb up the rocks normally through the main part of the trail. But if you find yourself in a vehicle that really doesn't like climbing rocks or anything, there is that separate path over there, which has a, you know, challenge hosts, you know, its own challenge for you. I really enjoyed, you know, working on this spot over here, especially when Whammer Jammer, he messaged me, like, you know, this was before I added in like the force trail and stuff. This rock hill here was still exactly the same. I haven't changed it. And he was like, you know, I fell off your rock wall, or I fell off that rock hill. Like, he tumbled off it or something like 6 times or something like that. That's pretty funny. When he told me that, I was like, yeah, it'll get you. If you're not, you know, careful. And, you know, I've probably traveled on this map for like, I don't know, 6-7 hours. But that's because I, you know, it being my map, I test everything, you know. Everything I build, I test it myself. I make sure that if I can climb it, I'm pretty sure anybody else can climb it. Especially when it comes to rocks. So coming from that way up this hill is not so bad. It's not so bad at all, especially not in this vehicle here. It's pretty easy. This way might actually turn out easier now that I drove down it and kind of loosened up some of those, you know, bigger rocks. As you guys saw them kind of come tumbling down. We're going to go ahead and back up over here and go back up it. This is, as you can see, this is back over here on this spot. So this is the second way you can go up it if you're coming from that way, which is the basic way to go through. The way I intended the map to go through, but obviously I wanted to make it, you know, the ability to go through it any way you want it to. And now that's one of those challenges you gotta face. Coming up from this side is these rocks. They are, you know, obviously they're just kind of randomly placed over here, but they turned out to be pretty strategically placed to hinder you climbing up this hill. But it is possible to climb up this hill. Obviously, it just takes a little bit because it does get pretty damn steep right there. And I wanted it to do that because if you don't climb the rocks, you gotta have some kind of challenge, you know, in your way. And that's why I did it the way I did over here. And especially up here, I put all these like lying trees. It's like the person who cut through this trail, they were like, you know what, I'm gonna cut these trees down. I'm just gonna leave them laying there. I'm done. Like, that's basically what happened there. And of course, you have to be careful because this is pretty much literally right on the barrier of the map, which it took me a little bit to get the dirt right, but you will still have to watch out a little bit because you might cause yourself to get stomped right there. So for this last little leg of the video here, we're gonna jump into another vehicle actually. I'll go ahead and hit the handbrake here. So just give me a... Actually, you guys can see these, those of you still watching, so that if you guys want me to use any particular vehicle, you guys can, you know, let me know. Another vehicle I like to use for the whatchamajigger, logging is a Toyota Helix double cab. I don't know who made it, but I have it. And it's it's honestly a good thing to use because you can use 8 points of small logs in the back of it, which makes it pretty fun little thing. Easy to do. It's right here, Helix 2016 black double cab. That's what I use for logging a lot on maps that I know aren't going to take me too crazy of ways, because it's not necessarily the best for crazy stuff. So what I wanted to bring out was, oh man, oh yeah, there it is, Gabe's Bronco crawler with crawlers, obviously. That's what I want to use for the last little leg of this race. Or race. I say a race, but that's not a race. So we're just going to remove this vehicle because I don't want to spawn. I don't like having too many vehicles spawned at once. When I join into a map, you know, single player map, I usually delete all the extra vehicles and just run with, you know, vehicles I want to use. The reason I wanted to use this is because it's a small little vehicle. It's got a good amount of speed to it. It flexes a lot, and it absolutely rips. Now, of course, when you come up here, is basically your way to get through to the logging station, which I have to rework a little bit of the trails over here. I will make a trail that, you know, goes from over there at the logging station that actually goes around the block post and over here, because since adding in my little spare trail there, or not spare trail, but my whatchamajigger trail, the overgrown forest trail, it's actually harder if you know, to log with anything with a trailer. So I'll have to make something. I'll maybe make a little highway out of the, you know, bridges or something, you know, do something cool like that. Now, one of the other little trails that I put in is pretty much down here. You can access this from over there if you want. I just wanted to skip my other little, like, around that corner, if you don't come down here, is another kind of sort of speed ring, but it's also a little bit place where you need to go a little slow at, because there are some dips and dives and crevices to watch out for. But right up there just takes you right over to the mud pit, as you can tell by that bridge, which we're going over to that bridge, and we're almost done exploring my map. And yeah, it may take you about an hour to explore my map if you're not flying through it and you're just kind of cruising. Now, this trail in itself is nothing too crazy either. It's a little laid-back trail, just kind of cruise you on through stuff. And I missed my turn, and I even put those rocks there and these two trees to kind of let you know, hey, you got to turn right here. And I even put that broken down house as like a, you know, this used to be like somebody's driveway or something, you know, and that they're long gone or something like that. I don't know, little RP type things, but just kind of little aesthetics to the map. But yeah, this isn't anything too crazy. It's just a short little trail. I wanted to add something over in this area, you know, kind of connecting between the two sides. And this worked out, which does have a decent amount of mud over here. So it is something to kind of, excuse me, note is the mud. And of course, if you just go this way, it takes you around the corner and it takes you back over there to where we entered onto the super rocky trail. And like I said, there are some dips and dives if you decide to come flying around these corners. But of course, if you come out of that trail and just go to the left, it takes you along and back towards the beginning of the map. Now, of course, when you come up here, you have two ways you can climb up it. You can climb up it through that rock right there, or you can climb up the side over here that's made to be an easier way to get up it, but at the same time, it's still something I made to be decently, you know, a challenge. Because like I said, you know, if you skip one challenge, you got a different challenge that's awaiting you. So it's nothing, you're never bored with my map, you know, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, I mean, maybe after a little while of driving around the map, like, if you run these trails too much, yeah, you might get bored of my map. But as for, I mean, you know, but with me, you know, pretty much changing the map on a almost daily basis, adding new things into this map and stuff like that, which is the only reason you guys haven't seen the map yet. Other than in my live stream I did the other day, or well, probably like last week or something, from the time you guys are probably watching this video. And of course you can look over the mud pit. Oop, there's some lag there. Give it a second to stop lagging. There we go. If you look over here, there's so much fog, dude. I wish I could get rid of that. Oh my gosh. Alright, there we go. That's better. Less fog. But of course you can look over here and you see the rock bridge and the mud pit, which can only mean that you're coming back over here to the start of the map. Now you can take this bridge here. There is a tree in the way, but the tree you can pretty much drive over and not really get damaged much. That's in the way. That's why it's still there and I haven't removed it, because it's not too much of a, you know, inconvenience. It just kind of hides it. It just kind of hides the trail a little bit there. Or the bridge, I should say. Kind of mini highway. And that's a cool thing to do if you know, I put that in basically for mud trucks. You know, if somebody makes like a mud truck that is literally good for nothing but mud and dirt, you know, like it's just not good for rock crawling or anything like that, you can get it to the mud pit, no problem. You can even tow to the mud pit if you want. However, the corner that you guys are going to see once we get all the way over here and onto the bridge, because the ending literally takes you onto the bridge, which of course you can go loop around or you can just jump off it. Dang it, I forgot what I was saying. The corner is a little sketchy. Like, if you were to like take a trailer up onto it, it's a little sketchy. I think I'm gonna add in another ramp to where you can drive straight up onto that, because none of the rest of it's really a crazy angle that'll prevent you know, any type of trailer or anything from going onto the map. Wow, we're almost out of fuel. I never refilled this thing when we spawned it. I don't know how much fuel it had in it. Probably not much. Ooh, my mud's getting me. This is what I get for having rock crawling tires, huh? That's crazy. And I drove through here because I was in, I like left Spun's MJ right there when I spawned into the map. So that was one of those, you know, I already have dents in the mud, I gotta go around kind of things, because I spawned right there. And that is some deeper mud right there, just kind of, it's kind of a last hurrah as you exit the trail. You know, just a little hard stuff there. And yeah, if you come up here, you can just go straight off. I think I'm going to add in another bridge right there, because there's not really anything in this area other than my weird terrain right there to kind of test your suspension. Of course, the lumber mill over there with the, you know, old boat that literally can't get out because the river stops at the end of the world, literally. I put dirt there. It's pretty funny. And my bridge to nowhere. Literally, it's a bridge to nowhere. It literally just goes across that. That was just like, that whole area right there was aesthetic originally. And then I found a way to kind of turn it into something else. So of course, if you drive on this bridge, it takes you right back around over there, as I told you guys already. But you could, in theory, which will probably be the next update on this map, which will probably be in the map already by the time you guys watch this video, will be a fixed area to where you can pull a trailer up on here. You can pull the trailer all the way over here, and I'm going to show you guys something real quick before we end this video, this almost hour long video. And that's that, like, see, well, here's the tree. Like this tree here, you can kind of, oop, I didn't want to drive into it now. Not the actual tree itself. Like, the tree grew up into it, but there's like this branch here that's crazy. You can just drive through it. It just pulls itself back. But I want to show you guys, if you do pull a trailer through here, once you come out right here, if you just turn right, and instead of turning all the way right, just drive through these bushes right here, and straight down. I made it a kind of leveled off area. It's hidden. It's a hidden exit, obviously, and it takes you right down here to the mud pit. and basically just allows you to come down here and, you know, if you had like a trailer or something, you know, you were pulling a mud truck, you could just park your car up, pull the mud truck off, and, you know, explore the mud. But yeah, if you guys actually watched all of this, hopefully at least one of you guys did, so I don't, you know, I'm not just talking to myself at this point. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and you guys are legendary if you actually watched this entire video. And I hope y'all enjoyed it at least, if you did, because, I mean, come on now, don't waste an hour of your life if you don't enjoy it. You know, even though I shouldn't be saying that because it's my video, but hey, seriously, like, you know. But yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Kind of tired now, and yeah, hey, I'll definitely see y'all in the next one. XO Froggy out.